Okay, let's just dive right in. Look, we are living in this amazing age of productivity, right? We've got AI assistants, Slack, GitHub, all these tools that have absolutely supercharged the way we build and collaborate. We're moving faster than we ever have before. But what if all that speed has a hidden cost? A huge, invisible risk that's just ballooning right under our noses. So let me ask you this. With all these incredible tools your team is using, do you actually know where your biggest security blind spot is? It's probably not what you think. It's not some super sophisticated hacker from the outside. Nope. It's something happening inside your own workflows every single day.
This whole problem has a name. It's called secrets sprawl. And this is really the heart of what we're talking about today. It's what happens when the digital keys to your entire kingdom, we're talking API keys, database passwords, access tokens, get scattered completely uncontrollably across all the tools your teams use just to get their work done. It's a quiet crisis for sure, but it is happening everywhere.
So let's start with this idea of an invisible crisis. The very tools that make us so incredibly productive are also kind of accidentally creating this massive hidden attack surface. Every time a developer shares a key in Slack to get a colleague unblocked, or pastes a credential into a Jira ticket, or an AI assistant gets trained on some internal docs, a secret can leak. So how big of a deal is this really? I mean, it's one thing to talk about it in theory, but when you look at the actual data, it reveals a pretty shocking scale. So let's get into the numbers. Let's just start with what's happening out in public. In 2024 alone, researchers found almost 24 million new secrets leaked on public GitHub. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's a 25% jump from the year before, which is a rate that's actually outpacing GitHub's own growth. The problem isn't just getting bigger, it's accelerating. And listen, this is not just a public code problem. A recent study found that a stunning 83% of companies have absolutely no automated controls to stop their own employees from feeding sensitive data into public AI tools. They're literally just relying on warning emails and, well, the honor system, which, let's be honest, is a strategy that is clearly not working. Think about this for a second. Other research shows that a majority of organizations, we're talking 61%, have sensitive credentials, like the keys to their cloud infrastructure, just sitting out in the open in their public code. And these aren't just test keys. These are often the real deal, exposed for anyone to find. But maybe the most dangerous part of this whole trend is what is being leaked. The fastest growing category here is what we call generic secrets, things like plain old usernames and passwords. This is so critical because these credentials don't follow a predictable pattern, which means they can fly right under the radar of the basic scanners built into platforms like GitHub. They are, for all intents and purposes, invisible. So why on earth is this happening on such a massive scale? Well, it kind of comes down to a few paradoxes of modern work, where the very places we feel the most secure are actually our biggest points of exposure. Okay, so here's the first paradox. Private is public. Developers and employees feel safe working in their internal private spaces. They're just trying to be helpful, trying to move fast. So they drop a key in a private Slack channel or paste it into a Jira ticket to fix a bug. It feels secure because it's internal, but that is a totally false sense of security. And if you need proof, here it is. Analysis shows that private code repositories are 8 times more likely to contain a hard-coded secret than public ones. We let our guard down precisely where we keep our most sensitive stuff, creating a gold mine for any attacker who manages to get inside. And this isn't just theory. Just look at discussions on platforms like Reddit. When you ask developers how they manage secrets, you see answers like Notepad or a Post-it note. Okay, sometimes they're joking, but it really reflects this real-world casualness that comes from feeling safe inside the walls. And this brings us to the second paradox, one that is incredibly relevant today. The helpful AI paradox. We're all rushing to connect AI tools to our internal documents and our code to make them smarter. The problem is, these AI systems, they don't understand the concept of a secret. To an AI, it's all just text. And this exposes a really dangerous gap in perception. While about a third of executives believe they have full control over how AI is being used, the reality is that only 9% of organizations actually have working governance systems in place. That means companies are overestimating their control by more than 300%, turning their helpful AI chatbots into potential secret leaking engines without even knowing it. Okay, so a secret leaks. It's a mistake. You just delete it, right? Problem solved? Well, unfortunately, it is not that simple. This is one of the most misunderstood parts of secret sprawl, and it's exactly why these leaks have such a long, dangerous tail. See, when you're using a version control system like Git, nothing is ever truly deleted. When you remove a secret with a new commit, you're just adding a new layer on top of the old one. That original commit, the one with the secret in it, it's still there, forever preserved in the project's history. Anyone can go back and find it. The only way to actually erase it is to rewrite the entire history, which is a really complex and disruptive process. So, here's the billion-dollar question. Are companies actually cleaning up this history? The data says, nope. An absolutely astonishing 70% of valid secrets that were found in public code back in 2022 are still active and working today. They haven't been removed from the history, and in a lot of cases, they haven't even been revoked. And this inaction has severe real-world consequences. We're not just talking about the risk of a breach here. Regulators are cracking down, big time. Under GDPR, we've seen fines in the billions. HIPAA violations for exposed health data are costing millions. Failing to secure sensitive data, which absolutely includes these secrets, is no longer just a technical problem. It is a massive financial and legal liability. Okay, we've covered the problem, the sheer scale of it, and the consequences. It's a pretty bleak picture, but it is not hopeless. The key is to shift our focus from just finding leaks to actively bridging what we call the remediation gap. Let's talk about the path forward. Here are 3 high-level things your organization can start doing right now. First, flip the focus. Stop relying on paper policies and start auditing what's actually happening with your tools. Second, deploy technology. The honor system has failed. Automated scanning and blocking is the only way to get protection at scale. And third, you have to prioritize remediation. Finding a leak is totally useless if you don't fix it. Treat every leaked secret like an active fire that needs to be put out. And if you do find a leak, here is your 4-step emergency checklist. Step 1, revoke. Immediately go to the provider, AWS, Google, wherever, and kill the key. Step 2, remove. Use a specialized tool to rewrite your Git history and completely purge the secret. Step 3, rotate. Generate a brand new, secure credential to replace it. And finally, step 4, scan. Put continuous monitoring in place to make sure this never ever happens again. So we'll end on this thought. The age of AI-powered development and collaboration, it's accelerating every single part of our work, and it's creating incredible opportunities, no doubt about it. But it's also amplifying old risks in brand new ways. The question is no longer if you're going to adopt these tools. The real question is your security ready for the world that you're building?